I asked him to do some stretches and he said, maybe I'm just too far gone. Maybe I just can't do stretching. And that bothers me. I know where this idea comes from because a lot of people, when they try to think of stretching, they see yoga classes. They see all these pictures in the magazines. They see people who, yes, admittedly, often kind of look like me, probably with a flatter belly. And they think, okay, I can't bend my hips like this. I can't sit on my heels. I can't do these things. I can't stretch at all. And the expectation really is not great. I tried to find a good video for GG, and I looked on YouTube for stretches for beginners, and I found a few, and I was shocked to see that they still don't think about people who are really not flexible. I don't know, they may be thinking of 18-year-old beginners who never did a stretching routine, and that's what a beginner is for them. But them not thinking about the 65-year-old guy who has never really thought of stretching until the doctor said so. So specifically for people who have spent decades and decades never sitting on the floor, never going to exercise classes, just going through life normally, hopefully being active in general, maybe walking a lot, but who are really not flexible. Specifically for people like that, I want to say, here's how you can really get started. So, I want to keep it easy. Don't expect a lot. You shouldn't be doing a lot. You should just try it out nice and easy. First thing I want to go over is hamstring stretches. Just because it's one of those things that you see a lot. And what you see in hamstring stretches usually is people who try to bring their hands to the floor. Now, if you're not flexible at all in the hamstrings, because they attach to the hips in here, and they attach underneath the knee, you get this big pull here as soon as you start tilting the hips forward. So in order to avoid this, most of us just keep the hips where they are, and since we have this idea of bringing the hands down, we just do this. What I'm stretching here is my back, not my hamstrings. Because if you really look, I didn't change anything in the hips. I just keep pulling down like crazy because I think the objective is to get my hands down there. And that doesn't do any good. In some cases, actually, if people have problems with their back, it might really be bad. So, I want to show you how to keep a flat back, and that is our first exercise for today. Just put your hands into your low back. Most people have this like a little bit hollowed out in here. Now, if this is you, you will feel there's a bit of an arch in here when you're up straight, and then when you come forward, you feel how you're bending your back. Put your hands there and really feel the difference. If you put one hand over the other, you can do this, and you feel how your hands are going apart and back together, right? So try these things out just in order to feel how you're moving your back, because now I want you to not move your back when you're really trying to stretch your hamstrings. So put your both hands in the back. If you can't do this and you're like laughing at me and you say, Lou, I can't bend my shoulders like this. Doesn't matter, just use a mirror. Look at how your back is moving, and you saw what I was doing with my hands to just get an idea of the difference between bending your back, having your back in this normal, slightly arched position, and trying to keep your back totally flat. So try the flat back for me. Check in the mirror or feel with your hand, and then keeping it like this, you just hinge forward. You probably heard this, you have to hinge from the hips. That's what they always teach you when they teach you how to pick things up correctly. Most people I see, they're being told hinge from the hips, they still do this. This is not hinging, this is bending the back and leaving the hips where they are. I hope you're getting it now. So try hinging from the hips as if you want to fold yourself in half, as if you want to bring your belly to your thighs. So think about bringing the belly to the thighs instead of bringing the hands onto the floor. Now you see in me, the back stays flat, hinging at the hips. For most of you, this will be a really intense stretch in the hamstrings. But if you're not feeling it, just use the back of a chair for support and for balance, and try to push your butt backwards. Now you should really feel it. So if all of this didn't work, and you were here, and you were hinging, you kept your back where it was, and already here you felt a sharp pull in the hamstrings, well then I understand why your doctor said you should be stretching a little bit. So if this is where you are right now, that's all right. This is how you practice. So just a few times a day, the more often the better actually, and you don't even have to hold it long. Just a few times a day. Walking by a bookshelf, grab the edge of the bookshelf. You're standing by the dining table, get on with your hands onto the table just for support, or the back of every chair you come by, and just try out this hinging motion forwards until you feel a bit of a pull. You don't need to hurt yourself, just get a bit of a pull. Over time, your body is going to adapt to this and is going to understand like, oh, okay, we need to lengthen this. Only a few of you might really have so much tension in there that it might help to get a good deep tissue massage, especially for the back of the legs. So just try it out. Please leave a comment for me. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, but especially leave a comment for me if you have any problems. And let me know about the other stretches that you're supposed to be learning that I can show you in the easiest way for the very beginning. Because you're definitely not too far gone. You can always do something, okay? Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.